How was the cruise?
It was so good. Kids were great. Lisa did an unbelievable job.
Good.
Yeah, it was
I got you already.
quite an experience.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Alexis was with
Yeah,
you.
Alexis went, Brendan went.
She was telling me about that.
Yeah.
Sounded pretty cool.
Yeah, kids were awesome.
Yeah, see, that's doing it right as a college student when you get your field period experience on a cruise.
Yeah, that's no joke.
Right, they had to interview,
Did you get? I left you off of it, but did you get? Did I send out the update on the
Yes.
budget? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I emailed it. All right.
I left you off of it, but did you get it?
No, I left Brian out of it.
That's what I would say, Steve.
Kind of like Radar O'Reilly and MASH, like.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of going
We're
back
good to
ways,
go.
but
That was a great series.
Okay.
I'll take care of the show.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I mean, we may have another one or two board members join us, but we have a quorum now, and we're gonna get started, because we have a hard stop. And there's Jesse.
Sorry to
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we'll call the meeting to order now at 7:31. We are convening the Finger Lakes Horizon EDC first. And so, I don't think we have any guests right now. Jim was here, but he's gone. We do not need an executive session for this entity. And so the next item up on the agenda are the review and approval of the minutes from March 26th. And I would ask for a motion to approve those minutes. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning. So moved.
Is there a second? Steve? Steve. Any comments or recommended changes to the minutes? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. For changes in the agenda, we do not have the Ag Society follow-up items were not circulated ahead of time, they're not ready, so that's not ready to have our final action on that. So that's gonna get scratched from the agenda, and that's gonna remove all the action items from the agenda.
It came in, information came in really late.
So from the finance report standpoint, Doreen, are there any checks to share for this one?
I do not have any checks today.
All right, then we're gonna move on and ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Jesse. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, so we are adjourned. Now at 7:32.
How about that?
That's the first time
Record.
in
That's impressive.
18 years of being involved here, we've started the second meeting on the dot. So it says 7:32 on the agenda. We are now called to order. And now we have Steve Meyer joining us with Harris Beach. Thanks, Steve, for joining online. Next item up on this is for an executive session. If we need an executive session, and we do, we are asking for that for the discussion of the employment history of a particular individual and also real estate, potential real estate development.
Legal proceedings against Milo.
Okay, so I'd ask for a motion for those stated purposes to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Jesse. Is there a second?
I'll second, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. And we'll wait for Mike to
Always go. We're in executive session. We're in executive session.
Yes.
No.
So when we're good.
So for those of us old people who went through the transition
On the
of being
last
on
meeting,
these conference calls
we
and
approved
forgetting
minutes
who might also be on.
from March. Did we not meet?
Might have said one or two things I
Can you double
forgot,
check
but
that?
had
I did.
filtered, had I remembered.
Oh, right, we did
Kept
not
it
meet
interesting,
April,
sure.
May was
Well, you get so
canceled.
fired up.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
it's
we didn't
me.
even go into the
I'm
meeting.
sure that's
We just
shocking.
Okay,
canceled
that
it.
came up for clarification.
Okay, I missed that part of the meeting,
Yeah, that's right.
so.
We never went into it. We just canceled the schedule, but we never went into and approved anything.
Okay.
Last one.
Did you guys hear that? The last meeting, we talked about the minutes for the May, or for the March 26th, and wondered if there was an April or a May, and there was not. So that was all correct. All right.
We're
So,
allowed to
Double check.
I would ask for a
I trust-
motion to enter open session.
So moved, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jared. Okay, we're back in open session, and we'll move on with our agenda. So item 3 here is the review and approval of the minutes from our May 28th meeting, which does not feel like it was that long ago. The minutes are included here in the packets for everyone's prior review. I'd ask for a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Jared. Is there a second? Thank you, Marisa. Are there any comments or questions on the minutes? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that is carried. As far as changes in the agenda, we do need to remove item 2, the initial resolution for City Hill construction.
Yep, we have an application, but looking through it, it wasn't ready, and based on their construction schedule, we have plenty of time. So we'll be forward next month.
Okay, so then we need to add an item for Personnel Committee, and that's it. There are two parts to that. And so we'll have an action item acting on the Personnel Committee recommendations. Any other changes in the agenda? Okay, then we'll move on to the finance report. The P&L and the loan reports were all included in the packets for anybody. Is this a good time to ask any questions if you have them?
Yeah, bills totaling $117,110.62 and consists of check 6896 and 6923. Oh, no, that's not right. No, wait, take that out. Yeah, 6896 to 6923 and E246 to E250, which includes payroll. And also payroll for Friday is included in this report as well.
Okay, thank you, Doreen. I'd ask for a motion to accept the finance report and approve paying those specific checks.
So moved, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Second.
Doreen, okay. Are there any questions or comments on any of the presented material? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. On to status reports. Do you guys have any highlights you want to hit on the reports? None for Doreen? Mike sent his yesterday.
Yeah, I sent mine yesterday. So quick highlight, if you didn't have a chance to read it, was the inventory of the buildings in the village of Penn. Some pretty impressive numbers there. Looking at the whole village and the number of businesses and storefronts there, I think we're at right around, plus or minus a little bit, 3% vacancy rate. And some of those vacancies are projects that are under construction and something going in there soon. So for 170 plus businesses within a 2-mile radius, it's pretty impressive numbers. Gonna start highlighting that to the public and the marketing, which I know Brendan and Steve did a little bit yesterday with some Facebook posts highlighting some of the new and long-term businesses in the village. So it was pretty cool. I used a day home with my son who was sick that day, so I put him in the stroller and we walked up and down Main Street to take inventory of that. So he had fun.
I like that post. It was
Yeah,
it was nice to
good.
see. It just caught your eye and made you look at it real quick.
Yep, he did a good job.
Cool.
So-
My question, what's going in on, between Lake and it's on, by the park on the outlet trail.
The car wash.
Car wash.
Another car wash? Okay, sorry, did I say that out loud?
The drive-through monthly subscription type
Yeah.
model ones that you see. There's
Oh.
Canandaigua, Geneva.
Is it Go?
Oh, I forget the name.
No.
Flash.
idea, it's not bad.
It's not.
It's not.
Auto wash.
Other than that, the
Just trivia.
application for the Dundee Main Street grant should be going live today. I'm sending it out to the building owners, so we'll start hopefully seeing some projects as a result of that. And then work with the local committee down there to select projects, hopefully towards the end of July, early August. Give building owners about a month's time to get their ducks in a row and submit a proper application.
Do you know if there's people interested already?
There are, yeah. We had 6 applications that were a part of the initial submission to the state to apply for the grant. Then they want you to reopen it and make it available to everybody once there is an award. There's a project readiness factor in the scoring rubric, so those projects that were ready in advance will get some additional points for being ready early. There were, I think I talked to 13 different building owners that showed interest in part of that application. Some just weren't able to get
Terrific.
info in time, so.
And the town board's all on.
Yep, they're all on board. Yep, we have Mayor Fred Kratzley and his deputy that are gonna sit on the committee.
Awesome.
George Lawson's gonna sit on it, and then some business owners and other local individuals, so. Should hopefully be seeing some progress with that here in the next couple of months.
Great.
Sweet.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Only 2 real quick things. I have the prevailing from the state legislative side, the prevailing wage mandate did not go through. So that got, at least we got at least 1 more year of, there was a move to try to make any IDA project have to pay prevailing wage on the construction side, which is not right now a mandate. So that we were successful in defending that, at least for 1 more year. And then our favorite topic, annual meeting, annual presentation, which we have proven we're not very good at scheduling. There is a discussion, the chamber has inquired if we would be interested in combining their annual, not their dinner, but their annual meeting where they announce, approve their board of directors with ours. I see some pluses and minuses with it because there would definitely be a broader reach. Who comes to our presentations, who goes to theirs are slightly different. There are some definite, overlap, but I think we get a slightly broader audience, and I think the only potential negative is clearly to be slightly less focused on just what we do, and we'd have to, which probably isn't a bad thing, limit what we present. Up, in the presentation aspect, I would suggest to the chamber, if we do this, have an actual booklet, an actual annual report that we could hand out to kind of give some of that detail and speed at least the presentation aspect of it up. I think it's a neat idea. If we did that, it would be later in the year. It'd be like a November type of deal, or we could push through and continue to just do our own thing. And we probably now push that out to. We do have some locations now, so we could do it like a early to mid-July aspect. But I don't know if there's any thoughts. I know we're tight on time. If you want to think about it, and I can shoot an email out to everyone afterwards. And
Be interesting to try that. I mean, we've been waiting 5 years. What's 6 months?
you moved a little bit there. I didn't catch it.
Real quick, if
It
you
hasn't been for lack
could,
of trying.
Real quick, if you could, speaking of the marketing, the 4 projects you're working on, just names and what they are. Can't do that.
I can't get they're until they get to a spot where they can go public.
Okay.
They asked me to keep it out of the public information because it could impact real estate prices
Sure.
and that sort of thing.
Okay.
I can talk about it offline.
Yeah.
One, about.
Yeah. I'm just trying to leverage what we have going on because we're in open session now, but maybe just high level, you're working on 4 separate projects.
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, there's at least 4, sort of more traditional economic development projects we're working on that would be some fairly large manufacturing expansions. One which would be a really nice, kind of difficult to fill or place an infill project within one of the communities, and could be a potentially large retail expansion as well. So there's some
A lot of activity.
A lot of activity.
Very good.
Awesome. Great.
When it comes to the meeting with the chamber, I think it's a great idea. Just if it doesn't work out, you just don't do it ever again. I honestly think that's the way to go. It's just 1 year. But
Yeah.
might as well just give it a shot and see how
I
it
agree.
turns out.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this?
That sounds good.
Since when do we have a 40-minute idle time?
It's just the Zoom portion,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, nobody's on Zoom,
so that's okay.
It just gives us the camera for
The audio is still.
the audio's there,
Okay,
so
we can keep.
launch it.
Any other comments or questions on the status reports of the team? All right, then we're gonna move on to the action items. So the first one is the elevator modernization bid discussion.
Do you want to do the one that actually requires a vote? I don't know how long the discussion may not take long, but I know you and Jerry.
Yeah,
each have
all right,
hard outs.
that's a
I
good-
gotta go too.
That's a good suggestion. We'll move on to the next item, and, because that requires a vote. So the Personnel Committee, there are 2 items, and I'm gonna ask for 2 separate motions. The first motion is to create a seasonal summer part-time position not to exceed 270 hours or 30 hours a week for 9 weeks at $18 an hour for maintenance and painting and repair work throughout the facility here. So I would ask for that motion.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Jesse. Is
I'll
there a
second it.
Janice? Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, carried. The second item here, I would ask for a motion to approve an adjustment to the CO compensation package. There's a salary adjustment recommended and a contribution to deferred comp plan recommended by the Personnel Committee. And I would ask for a motion to accept the Personnel Committee recommendation for those changes.
So moved, Amy.
Okay,
Second, Janice.
Seconded, Janice. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. And then we'll go back, the next item then would be the discussion on the elevator modernization bid.
So we put out bids. We got to do some work with the elevator, and Steve was nice enough to take a look at some of the bids that kind of came back with, and it's more than just fix a wall. There's some level of sophistication to make sure it's being done correctly that it might surprise people. I don't have, but we don't think it's anywhere in staff to handle it. So Steve mentioned maybe an idea of hiring some sort of project manager to kind of look after this and make sure what gets bid is what goes on within that elevator. So before we brought forth the bids, we wanted to have that discussion with the board to get an idea to see if there's the thoughts on that. We weren't sure. There was some discussion whether, well, he has a conflict.
Don't look at me.
Steve has a conflict, right? Steve has a conflict from that aspect, so we didn't know if there was anyone that could.
I mean, I don't know anything about elevators, but if there's a way that I could help, I mean, I'd be more than willing to. So.
To me, it's more the code, making sure the improvements are done per code. And,
Right.
we have a pretty lengthy checklist
Mm-hmm.
for someone to make sure.
There's no local governance for them?
Well, that's what I was
Yeah, there's
thinking.
tons of local governance
So
for that.
we
So-
get governed by we
The
follow
county.
the county
So we have a county code enforcement officer.
Yeah.
I haven't reached out to him, but I'm gonna guess that he doesn't know anything about elevators,
Okay,
the
so
same as
we
the rest of
use-
us.
We've used Otis and ThyssenKrupp, so, I mean, why don't you talk to Alan and
Okay.
just see, they come down to take care of our elevators all the time. They're really the only two that will come to our region with enough regularity. I don't know how old your elevators are, but as you can imagine, at the college, we have some really old ones where they've had to, we patch them together multiple times until we get to the point where we can't do it anymore, and then we have replaced the entire mechanism, and we've used both of those companies.
Okay.
I've
So-
been on a number of Millie's
And
part
I
of their
have a
DRA
bid from each
project.
one of those
Yeah.
companies.
They just installed their elevator
Yeah.
in Main Street building, and the village code person was there for a
Yes.
couple of
You
them.
I
can
would
find
think the
out
village, yeah.
Checking it
You
out.
can find out from Al, like, what do they do to,
Okay.
because there's a certain amount of training that they have done with our team. So Lou Stewart, so anyway,
Okay.
ask them and then decide if you need.
The one time that
Okay, perfect.
that I had an elevator go on in a residence, I had it inspected by an outside inspection agency, just because I didn't
Okay.
know what I was looking at. So I had them pay the guy to come out, inspect it, and make sure that it was done properly and maintained. Just
Well,
because
yes,
we're
we have
not
to have that
we're not
done,
trained
too.
this, and it doesn't have. There's nothing in the code books about it. It's really for us, so we just don't really know what we're looking at. So.
Yeah, we do have to have
Unfortunately.
that done, an outside person come in,
Yeah.
but I will verify with our
Yeah.
county code enforcement
Is
officer.
it more on the selecting which bid, having someone that knows?
Well, there's that too,
compare the
because there's
apples
quite a
to-
price, there's quite a price difference
Yeah.
between the three bids.
Talk to Art,
I
talk
will.
to our guys, and
I
they'll
will.
tell you
That's a
kind
great
of
idea.
what's gone down, because we've had way more elevator experience than we like.
Good suggestion. I will
We had to
reach
take
out
the
to
roof
Alan
off
today.
of Fall Hall to put that, it's
Okay.
lots of fun.
All right, good
Perfect.
idea,
All right.
yeah.
Okay,
We're good there.
are we good
I
there
gotta
then?
go, I'm late.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good, thank you,
Bye.
Amy. So that then concludes the action items for the
Yep.
agenda. The next scheduled meeting is July 16th. And with that, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Jared.
I'll
Is there a
second.
second? Jesse. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Sorry, Steve. I wish I just really don't know.
No, but that's,
No,
I
that's
think,
fine. That's
this
why
works.